Hey there. In today's video, I will be talking about the anchor habit. So we're already well into 2026 by the time you watch this. You know which habits stuck and which ones quietly died a few weeks after the new year. How are those new habits holding up? The journaling, the cold shower, running 5K every day. Because every time you do these habits, your nervous system logs this in as evidence. It also doesn't spare you every time you don't. Notices patterns, and those patterns compound. If you've been consistent, they positively compound, and if you aren't, it becomes even harder to be consistent at all. Not because you lack the willpower, but because your brain keeps showing you the evidence that you don't follow through. In today's video, you'll learn why one correctly chosen habit outperforms five mediocre ones, the psychological mechanism that makes certain habits so much harder to keep, how to identify which habit qualifies as an anchor, and lastly, a framework for building self-trust that actually compounds. So let's start off with a perfect day trap. You've probably had perfect days, woke up early, crushed the workout, locked in for hours, felt unstoppable. Then the next day you woke up tired, scrolled TikTok until noon, accomplished nothing, and felt like a fraud. Most people organize their lives around anticipating the next perfect day. That anticipation feels like motivation, but it rarely translates into sustained action. Nobody really thinks about what's your plan for your worst days, because success isn't built on what you do on your best day, it's what you refuse to do on your worst. Your baseline is a choice, not a feeling. Motivation makes you a passenger, anchors put you in the driver's seat. So you're probably stuck in a loop, peak motivation hits, you commit to massive change, you maintain intensity for 3 to 7 days. Life gets in the way, you collapse back to your old baseline. You conclude something's wrong with you, and then you repeat that same cycle. Each cycle just builds on the crumbling foundation that you're not even sure you built. Each run costs more psychological energy than the last. This solution isn't really more habits, it's one habit that acts as the solid foundation. This is what I call your anchor habit. So let's go into the identity shift. Your brain's primary objective isn't success, it's consistency. Psychologists call this the commitment and consistency bias. Your brain finds it physically uncomfortable to act out of alignment with its current self-image. Robert Cialdini documents this extensively in Influence. Once we have made a choice or taken a stand, we will encounter personal and interpersonal pressures to behave consistently with that commitment. Your identity is not what you say, it's what you repeatedly do. If your actions are chaotic, your brain catalogs chaos as your baseline identity. Every attempt at a change feels like lying to yourself because you're asking your brain to accept a narrative that contradicts the evidence. James Clear in Atomic Habits writes, "Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become." This is true, but he underemphasizes something critical. Your brain is counting votes in real time. It's a harsh auditor. An anchor habit creates an identity floor, a baseline beneath which you will not fall. Even when other things collapse, you still have this one thing that matters psychologically more than most people realize. Your nervous system runs on proof, not promise. Self-trust functions like a bank account. Every commitment is a deposit, every broken one is a withdrawal. Most people are trying to make major purchases while chronically overdrawn. When you successfully execute a behavior consistently, your brain updates its model of who you are, not the type who tries, but the type who does. Now let's talk about the commitment consistency mechanism. Something shifts around 14 to 30 days of consistent execution. The new behavior gets absorbed into your commitment consistency bias. Your brain stops treating it as a new thing you're trying. It becomes the way we are. At this threshold, stopping the habit becomes more painful than doing it. Stopping would violate your internal consistency. Your brain resists that. You're no longer maintaining the habit because you feel like it. You maintain it because not doing it would contradict who you are. That's identity architecture, not discipline. So a big point here is your body is your command center. Your body is the machine that makes all these decisions. If your blood sugar is crashing, your hormones are tanking, your sleep is garbage, your nervous system defaults to survival mode rather than execution mode. This isn't a discipline problem. This is damaged hardware. This is your body. Anchor habits stabilize the decision-making machine. When your body is in check, your mind follows. Kelly McGonigal's research in The Willpower Instinct demonstrates this clearly. Your physical state directly impacts decision-making capacity. Sleep deprivation, poor nutrition, and lack of movement all compromise prefrontal cortex function. That's the part of your brain responsible for impulse control and long-term planning. You can't think your way out of a biological problem. So your body is shaped by inputs: what you eat, when you sleep, how you move, what content you consume. Most people try to add greatness before subtracting the variables actively disabling them. Drinking 3 nights a week, eating sugar throughout the day, scrolling short-form content for hours. These aren't minor inconveniences. They're ankle weights. You're running the race at 10 to 20% capacity. So let's talk about the subtraction principle. You probably heard this a lot. Subtraction is higher leverage than addition in life. Removing sugar, alcohol, or short form media provides a massive immediate state change that no amount of journaling can match. Think of this as cognitive debt. Your bad habits charge you high interest rates on your focus and energy. You cannot save success capital until you pay off your cognitive debt. You're not trying to reach heaven, you're trying to get to the surface first. From the surface, from a stable baseline, your efforts have a 1-to-1 return. Until then, your brain chemistry is holding you back. What is the selfish habit rule? Your anchor habit, which I've talked about earlier, must be selfish. Not selfish in a moral sense, it's selfish in a motivational sense. You do it purely because you want to. It makes you feel better, think clearer, move easier, not because it impresses anyone, not because it's healthy, not because someone else said it works. Self-determination theory identifies 3 psychological needs for sustained motivation. Autonomy, you choose it freely. Competence, you can do it successfully. Relatedness, it connects with your values. Your anchor habit reads all 3. So I'll just give you one example. The morning workout example is I maintained a 5:30 to 6 a.m. workout routine for 4 years. Not because I'm disciplined, because I'm selfish. When I work out in the morning, my mind is clearer, my stress tolerance is higher, my sleep quality improves, I feel physically stronger. Those benefits are immediate and personal. I'm not doing it for longevity. That's just a bonus. I do it because I function better today. That's intrinsic motivation. The moment you maintain a habit for external reasons, to look good, to impress others, to prove something, you're running on borrowed fuel. So what's the litmus test? Ask yourself, if nobody knew I did this, would I still do it? If the answer is anything other than an immediate yes, it's not an anchor habit. Charles Duhigg calls certain behaviors keystone habits in The Power of Habit. These are routines that trigger chain reactions, changing other patterns. He writes, keystone habits start a process that over time transforms everything. He's describing the symptom, not the mechanism. The mechanism is identity reinforcement. An anchor habit creates a reference point, a baseline, a floor beneath which you will not fall. Your brain changes through proof, not logic. Every time you execute your anchor habit, you're revising your self-concept. Your brain constantly updates its model of who you are. The update is based on what you actually do. If you hit your anchor habit 30 days in a row, your subconscious estimate of am I reliable shifts from 5% to 90%. This isn't affirmation. This is data. Your brain works like a probability calculator. It updates predictions based on new evidence. Every action you take is evidence. Small wins stack like interest. Teresa Amabile's research at Harvard, documented in the Progress Principle, shows that the single most motivating factor is making progress on meaningful tasks. Small wins create psychological momentum. The next win becomes easier. You flood your system with so much evidence of the new you that the old version drowns. This is why tracking matters, not for accountability, but for proof. Every check mark, every X on the calendar, every log completion is evidence your brain cannot ignore. So let's go into the winner effect. Neuroscience research by Ian Robertson demonstrates that winning improves your biochemistry to win again. Every time you complete your anchor habit, you get a biochemical boost. The next task becomes easier. This is the neurological foundation of momentum. Success breeds success. Activity breeds opportunity. So what is the anchor protocol? What are the installation instructions? So pillar 1 is the daily non-negotiable. Discipline is a muscle, not a mood. Choose one action, 10,000 steps, a 7:30 a.m. wake up time, 20 minutes of movement, a cold shower. Build the muscle of obedience to yourself. This habit must be binary. Either you did it or you didn't. No partial credit, no negotiation. Your brain doesn't care if you did 5 push-ups or 50. It only cares if you kept your word. So there is also a simplicity requirement. Your anchor must be stupid simple. So simple that failure is harder than success. BJ Fogg calls these tiny habits. Make the behavior so small that it requires almost no motivation. If you want to anchor with exercise, don't start with workout for an hour. Start with put on workout clothes or do 5 push-ups. Build the identity, not the outcome. James Clear says you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. So pillar 2 is the input lockdown. Control what enters your system. Your body is shaped by inputs, content, food, people. Most people fail transformation because they try to add greatness before subtracting poison. So let's go through the 30-day elimination protocol. Choose one input actively sabotaging your biology right now. Sugar, alcohol, short-form media, toxic relationships, news consumption even. Eliminate it completely for 30 days. This isn't trying to be a saint. It's really just resetting your dopamine baseline. When you remove chronic overstimulation, your nervous system recalibrates. Tasks that felt impossible suddenly become manageable. Your threshold for effort has normalized. Alex Hormozi calls this lowering your stimulation floor. When the noise drops, you can finally hear your actual priorities. And before you can build, you must be clear. Spend 15 minutes unloading every unfinished task, every unfinished thought onto a paper, every half-started project, every nagging commitment, I should probably write it all down. This clears your mental RAM so your brain can actually focus. David Allen's Getting Things Done is built on this principle. Your mind is for having ideas, not holding them. Pillar 3 here is habit stacking, or the atomic link. Your anchor habit needs a trigger, not motivation, a prompt. Use the after blank, after anchor, then I will, new habit formula. So examples are: after I hydrate, I will do 5 push-ups. After I pour coffee, I will write for 10 minutes. After I close my laptop, I'll walk outside. This is implementation intention research from Paul Goldwitzer. When situation X arises, I will perform response Y. People who use implementation intentions are 2 to 3 times more likely to follow through. The anchor provides momentum. You simply direct that energy into the next task or the next habit. Pillar 4 is environmental re-engineering. Your environment will always beat your willpower. Rig the game so that your anchor habit is the path of least resistance. If your anchor is morning movement, lay out clothes the night before, put shoes by the door, set the alarm across the room, pre-cue your workout playlist. Designed for 5:30 a.m. you, not motivated current you. Create sacred zones. If your anchor is writing, your desk must have 0 clutter, and then no phone within reach. If your anchor is sleep, your bedroom must be dark, cool, and screen-free after 9 p.m. Environmental cues whisper who you were becoming. James Clear says, environment is the invisible hand that shapes human behavior. So how do we make it stick? How do you make it stick? What is the fortification phase? For the first 30 days, your motivation will fluctuate. Some days you'll feel energized, others you'll feel resistant. That's normal, expected, and irrelevant. You maintain the habit because you've decided it's non-negotiable, not because you feel like it. This is Newton's first law applied to behavior. An object at rest stays at rest, an object in motion stays in motion. Starting in physics, not psychology. In the first 30 days, this habit is non-negotiable. Travel, do it in the hotel. Sick, do the minimum viable version. Busy, wake up earlier. This isn't rigidity, this is intentionality. Gretchen Rubin identifies abstainers versus moderators in Better Than Before. Some people do better with all or nothing rules. For anchor habits, everyone is an abstainer for the first 30 days. Your brain is watching. Every time you honor the commitment, you deposit proof. Every time you skip it, you withdraw. And track your completion, not your performance. Do not track quality. Do not track duration. Do not track metrics. Track only, did I do it? Yes or no. This is critical. Use a simple tracker, a calendar with X's, habit app with check marks, notebook with daily entries. Visual streaks are powerful. Jerry Seinfeld's don't break the chain method works because it makes your commitment visible. And then you celebrate these tiny wins. Reward yourself for effort, not just outcomes. Every completed day deserves acknowledgement, not a cheat meal obviously or a scroll session. Real acknowledgement. Say it out loud. I kept my word today. That's a big win. And then what happens after you do all this? What happens next? I call this the identity cascade. Once your anchor habit is installed, everything else becomes easier. Once you establish an anchor habit, one you genuinely maintain, it creates what I call an identity cascade. Your brain loves patterns, it craves consistency. An anchor habit provides your brain with clear evidence that I am someone who keeps commitments to myself. This isn't affirmation again. This is data. Once your brain accepts that identity claim, it starts filtering decisions through it. Skipping other habits contradicts that pattern. Your brain hates cognitive dissonance, it resists. Your anchor habit gives you psychological permission to attempt other changes. Without an anchor, every new habit feels like lying to yourself. Your brain has evidence you're inconsistent. Adding another commitment feels delusional. With an anchor, one behavior you genuinely maintain, you have proof. Other habits become experiments, not desperate attempts. So the subtle shift without anchors, I should start meditating, which is obligation, it's doubt. But with an anchor, I'm going to start meditation for 30 days. This is curiosity, there's agency in it. This is the same habit, completely different psychological context. Research from Philippa Lally at University College London found it takes an average of 66 days to form a habit, but the range was really 18 to 254 days. The variance is massive. Why? People choose habits based on what they think they should do, not because what they're actually motivated to maintain. Your anchor habit changes this equation. Once it's installed, adding a second habit happens 3 to 5 times faster. The identity foundation already exists. Let's go over the common traps. Trap 1 is choosing impressive over intrinsic. You pick meditation because it sounds enlightened, but you hate sitting still. Choose the anchor that actually fits you, not the one that fits your idealized self. Trap 2 is starting too big. You commit to running 5 kilometers a day, You manage 3 days before your knees hurt and motivation crashes. Start embarrassingly small. You can always scale up, but you can't unbreak the trust. Trap 3 is tracking the wrong metric. You track calories burned, pages read, minutes meditated. Did I show up? Yes or no? Identity first, optimization later. Those are all optimization metrics. Trap 4 is letting exceptions become exits. You skip one day because of a legitimate reason, then another, then it's been a week. No exceptions for 30 days. Not because you're inflexible, your nervous system is learning. Trap 5 is adding too soon. Your anchor habits feel stable at day 20. You add 3 more habits, everything collapses. Wait 30 to 90 days. Build the foundation completely before adding weight. Add on to the proof. Add on to the data. Trap 6 is telling everyone. This might be counterintuitive to what you know, but you announce your new habit on social media, you tell your friends, you seek validation. Research shows that announcing goals can create a premature sense of completeness. Your brain gets the dopamine hit from the announcement without doing the work. Keep it private for 30 days. Let the evidence speak. Let's go into a quick review of everything. The mechanism really is your nervous system decides whether you're reliable based on evidence, not intention. One anchor habit provides that evidence consistently. Success is not what you do on your best day, it's what you refuse to do on your worst. So what are the criteria for an anchor habit? It must be binary. Did you do it? Yes or no? It has to be physical. It stabilizes the machine that makes decisions. Intrinsically motivated. You genuinely want to do it. It's stupid simple. Failure is harder than success. Non-negotiable. So you do it even when you don't feel like it. And then identity aligned. It reflects who you want to be. The sequence is you choose one behavior you're intrinsically motivated to maintain. Shrink it until it's embarrassingly small. Attach it to an existing routine if you have one already. Remove all barriers through environmental design. Track completion only, yes or no. Protect the streak for 30 days minimum with 0 exceptions. Let the identity cascade naturally create space for other habits. The insight is you're building your self-trust. Your habits are just the evidence. Your baseline is a choice, not a feeling. An anchor habit is the floor beneath which you will not fall. What are the action items? Call this a 72-hour protocol. Within the next 10 minutes, identify the disability. Write down one habit, sugar, scrolling, alcohol, currently acting as your anchor weight. It's dragging you down rather than holding you steady. Define the anchor, choose one physical non-negotiable. In bed by 10 p.m. or 20 minutes of movement before work. Make it binary. Frame it as a yes or no question with 0 wiggle room. Within the next 24 hours, you have to do the RAM dump. Spend 15 minutes unloading every unfinished thought onto paper. Clear the mental RAM. Create your tracking system. This could be a calendar, an app, or a notebook. Make it visible. I use the app Habit Kit in the App Store. I believe it also has it for the Play Store on Android. I love that app. I use it every day. Do the anchor once just to prove you can. For the next 30 days, maintain the anchor daily. No exceptions. No negotiations. No partial credit. Track completion only. Yes or no. Nothing else. Resist adding any other habits. This period is about building its foundation. Audit your inputs. So remove one poison, sugar, alcohol, short form media, short form content completely. After 30 days, check if it's automatic. Does this habit feel like who you are, or are you still negotiating with yourself? If yes, consider adding one more habit using the same framework. If no, continue for another 30 days. You're still building trust. So what is the 72-hour proof? Complete your chosen anchor for 3 days straight. Observe the state change. Use these as the first 3 data points for your identity overhaul. 3 days is long enough to prove it's possible, short enough that you can't rationalize quitting. After 72 hours, you'll know if this anchor is real or just another false start. The commitment is really, you're not committing to perfection. You're committing to proof. 30 days, one habit, non-negotiable. Your entire identity architecture starts here. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed that one. And I will be creating more of these videos more consistently. And I hope to see you in the next one.